How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out, it means a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff, not just One Piece. We cover plenty of manga on the channel, so stick around, check it out, see if anything else catches your interest. Anyway, on to the topic of today's video. After chapter 1032, I feel like it is my solemn duty as a, obvious Zoro fan to kind of try and figure out exactly what's going on here. I'm also going to take today's video as a chance to go over fan translation versus official translation, because changing a few words can really change the interpretation of what somebody is saying, or just the flat out meaning of what somebody is saying. Some of its interpretation, some of its meaning doesn't really matter, don't care, we're not going to get into the specifics with everything, we're just going to go over what they say and some of the differences. So yeah, anyway, getting into it, part of what I think is going on here is Zoro is extremely confused by fighting King. And I think this first piece of evidence is kind of this one, and I don't have both the official and unofficial for this one. By the way, I should also state that all red outlines for the panels will be official translation, and all white outlines for the panels will be fan translation. So there you go, you have a way to keep in mind which is which, and I don't have to constantly keep saying it. Anyway, yeah, for this first little bit, with it being kind of confusing for Zoro, this one I don't have two different ones because it doesn't really change a whole lot. One adds the word slashes, but, well, the attack Zoro is throwing out is a slashing attack. It's a cutting tornado. We've seen it before. It's Zoro. He does slashes. Not a huge deal in this case. It's where King is blocking the attacks with his wings. The reason why I kind of put this in here is because when you think about fighting an opponent that has a flying advantage, a flight advantage, and somebody is trying to get them on an even playing field, what do? You take out their wings, you shoot their wings, you slice their wings, clip their wings, and they can't fly anymore. So I'm trying to get this guy down to the ground. I launch these slashing attacks that are just going to rip his wings to shreds. And wait a minute, he blocks with the wings? How? Okay, how do I even get him down here now? That's just not fair and that's stupid. That's the one thing I'm supposed to be able to cut and bring you down. Okay, so that's not right. He's also got flames on his back. That's weird. Anyway, yeah, I'll come back around to that later. It's fine, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, first thing, that's just annoying. Next up, this time we actually have fan translation versus official translation, so woohoo, we can actually get into part of the point of today's video. Anyway, yeah, in the fan translation, King tells Zoro that yes, he's on the right track talking about them being extra tough with their hides and whatnot, but I'm on another level, saying yes, but I'm just better than everybody else. I'm just more durable than everybody else. That is the impression it gives you, which is kind of strange. It almost kind of sounds like he's trying to say he's more durable than Kaido. But in the official translation, he says yes, but it goes beyond that. Not that I'm going to another level of the same exact thing, but it goes beyond it. There is something else to the equation here. It's not just durability. Now, this becomes a little bit more clear when we move on to another translation versus, and this one is when Zoro is talking about how he has attacked King and not seen really damage in all of this. And the important part for this one is the first little bit right on top of Zoro's headband, where in the fan translation he says, all these attacks and not even a drop of blood. However, in the official, he says, I've hit him with a few slashes, but he isn't even bleeding. In the fan translation, that can lead you to believe that the attacks just aren't getting through. I've hit him with all these attacks, and no damage, no blood, no nothing. I haven't gotten anything out of him. However, in the official, that clearly, to me, at least in my interpretation, clearly states that I have slashed him. I have broken the skin open. I have caused a cut on his body. And he's not bleeding from it. I'm not getting blood out. Why do I cut him and no blood? No blood, no damage. I can get through. He's tough. It's tough to get through. But even after that, why does he not bleed when I cut? It's one thing to say, okay, I gotta slash him harder. I gotta cut deeper. I gotta hit harder. I gotta do that. That's one thing. That's kind of like the rooftop with Kaido. They could tell there was blood coming out. Hell, the scabbards drew a little bit of blood. Now, I mean, we're not going to sit here and act like the 9 red scabbards did that much damage to Kaido, but they penetrated him. They penetrated the dragon. I'm not going to laugh at somebody who penetrated a dragon.
Oh, no, 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 no.
So yeah, you just gotta cut deeper. You just gotta hit harder. He's bleeding, there's damage, you just gotta do more. With King, it goes beyond that. That is another part of the problem. Wings, I can't clip his wings. Damage, I slash him, but then there's no blood. It goes beyond being tough. It's not just that. What do I do? How do I beat him without knowing how to solve this? This leads into the next translation debate. In the fan translation, it talks about, I don't think I can beat him unless I know what he is. Okay, in the official, this makes much more sense to me. I've got to solve whatever this is, otherwise, I'm not going to be able to beat him. It's not, I have to know what he is, because yes, in both the fan and official translation, he does go, is it fishman blood? Is it giant blood? No, probably a race I've never heard of. But then in the fan translation, he goes on to say, I need to know what he is. Otherwise, I don't think I can win. In the official, he says, I need to solve this. Something I will give the fan translation real quick on like the knowing his race thing. In a few fringe cases, this could possibly be to your benefit. Say you were fighting somebody who is fully cloaked, and you assumed they were a regular person. Turns out they were somebody who could breathe underwater, a fishman. In the One Piece world, there are plenty of people who are just as strong as fishmen, so don't tell me, oh, you wouldn't tell the 10 times increase in strength. There's plenty of people who are 10 times stronger than normal people, so don't give me that. Anyway, yeah, fully cloaked, you think it's a person, and somehow this battle, you're fighting next to a lake, and this battle comes down to you like drowning your opponent. Say it's a smart fisherman. You're drowning them, and they're down there like, oh, he might not know that I'm a fish, and he might think I'm a person because I'm fully cloaked, he can't see me. Stop breathing, just play dead. Wait for you to get up. Yeah, maybe this is just your fault for not checking for a pulse, but yeah, your adrenaline's going, you're in the middle of a fight, it's tense, it's coming down to the wire, whatever. You get up, turn around, like, whew, drown him, thank God. That was a close one, I about lost that there. Turn around, go to walk away, the fishman then stands up, grabs a rock, and bashes the back of your head in, then winning the fight because you did not know that they were a fishman. You thought they were a person, so you thought you won the fight because you thought they couldn't breathe underwater. Congratulations, we have now found a fringe case where knowing the race would help to win the fight. It can sometimes, in fringe cases, not very often, but sometimes, in weird situations, it can help to know the biology of who you're fighting. If they can do weird stuff like breathe underwater or breathe in outer space, well, just survive in a vacuum, not have to breathe, so can survive in outer space without air. Things like this, if they can do these things, it is nice to know them. Because otherwise you might slip up and get your head bashed in by a fishman. Just saying. In the official, the interpretation I get, the way I feel going away from this chapter is King is just this complex puzzle to Zoro that makes absolutely no sense. Zoro, he cuts people, they bleed. If it's not enough, he cuts them again. If it's not enough, he cuts them deeper. They bleed more, they go down. That's how things go. But we're dealing with this guy who has this flight advantage. Okay, I can just clip his wings. That's how you deal with a flight advantage. No, he can guard with the wings. That's weird. Okay, I've slashed him, but he's not bleeding. That's strange. How do I even do damage? Is this doing damage? I can't really tell. There's these flames on his back. They didn't go away when he went back to his normal form. So it's not part of his devil fruit. So does that have something to do with it? Quick note, that might have something to do with it. Maybe you have to snuff out the flames on King's back to start doing damage to him. Maybe the lower the flame is, the weaker he is. Maybe there's a way to make that flame go down over time by doing damage of some type. I don't know. Maybe it's specifically water. Who knows? I have no idea. But this is a mystery that Zoro has to solve. If I can't figure out why I'm not doing damage, why he's not bleeding, why not this, why that. If I can't figure out these questions, how am I going to beat him? Because I beat people by cutting them. Like I said, if I don't cut them enough, I cut them more. If that's not enough, I cut them deeper. If that's not working, what do I do? This, from the official translation, makes me much more okay with this chapter. The fan translation was very strange on a few accounts, and especially when you think about the fact that Zoro, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't think this is a very sturdy limb. I'm not afraid to walk out onto this limb. Zoro probably knows very, very little, or more than likely nothing at all about Lunarians, including the fact that Lunarians are even or were even a thing. Zoro knows nothing about. So if Zoro learns he's a Lunarian, what is that going to tell him? What? How is that going to teach Zoro? How is that going to help Zoro how to beat him? Now, I did say in my review that possibly this is going back to like Alabasta. I got to feel the rhythm of the steel. I have to feel the voice of the steel, of the stone, of the leaves, so I can cut and not cut. Possibly on that side of things, we could be going down that route, but that's still, I don't know. That doesn't really feel right for how we're going about this and what we've said in either translation, not entirely at least. I think when you go off what the official says, it also makes it a little bit easier to not have this conflict with the rooftop, because I will say Anime Devil Hunter, my guy, he did bring up somewhat of a good point that in the fan translation, it seemed kind of weird because if it's like, well, I'm on another level, then it's like, well, what was Kaido? And still, I will admit that I kind of, if he still feels like this in the official, I kind of get it, because Zoro is still saying, like, I don't know if I can win unless I can solve this, or unless I can figure this out. He never hit that level on the rooftop, but like I said, Kaido wasn't a problem to solve. It was cut deeper. For Luffy, it was punch harder. It was the same old problem, just on a different scale. So they know how to solve it, they just gotta try and get stronger to solve it. They gotta swing harder. Like, that's how you solve that. In this, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep swinging, I'm gonna have to keep cutting, I'm gonna have to cut deeper, but that doesn't even really seem to be working. That doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. So will that even work? If I don't solve the problem of how to beat King, I don't think I can beat King. One last quick note, I know I put the text up there, but this doesn't mean King is stronger than Kaido, or it's harder to beat King than it is to beat Kaido. Kaido is that mountain. You know you have to hit harder, you know you have to cut deeper, but it's a mountain. It's a monstrous, flying, fire-breathing, wind-slice, gusting, stupid, big old drunk dragon mountain. It's insane how hard you have to hit and how many times you have to hit that hard, how deep you have to cut and how many times you have to cut that deep. It's insane. King is this weird metallic Rubik's Cube that's really hard to get through, but it's also really confusing, and it makes you feel stupid, and then you're just aggravated, and then everything's out of whack, and you just want to leave. So yeah, it's two different scenarios. King, lower than Kaido, no matter what, all day, every day. Don't even start with that, okay? So yeah, good, out. So yeah, either way, I think we kind of have a better idea of what's going on with the official translation for sure in this one. And like I said, I really think it is just Zoro has to figure out how you beat King. And I think we also have to figure out how you beat King. Because the really important one to me is I've hit him with a few slashes and he isn't even bleeding. That is really weird. If you have slashed him, if you have cut him, why is he not bleeding? That's strange. Normally you cut people and they bleed. I'm just saying that's kind of part of it. So yeah, I think it's just a problem to solve. And it's not necessarily that Zoro's like, oh man, he's just too strong for me. There's no way I can even keep up at all. He is kind of getting outclassed right now, but I think that's also partially because he's on the back foot trying to figure out why things are the way they are with King. He's a very strange being. So yeah, we kind of have to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and that's kind of tough to do when King is as strong as he is. So they kind of stack on top of each other. There's unknown questions to solve, and he's really strong at the same time. So it's already hard enough, and this just makes it harder. So how the hell am I going to do this? I think that's kind of where we're at. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think I've rambled on long enough. Yeah, I think I'm out, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about Zoro, this chapter, fan translation versus official. If you read both, if I helped you out with that, anything. Doesn't matter to me. Let me know, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.